Have you ever felt like your money just disappears? Like you blink, and suddenly your bank account is looking a little too lean, and you have no idea where it all went? If so, then you're in the right place, because that was exactly my financial reality for far too long. For years, I dabbled with different budgeting methods. I tried the old pen and paper, meticulously writing down every transaction, which lasted about 3 days. I downloaded those fancy spreadsheet templates, convinced that a bit of Excel magic would solve all my problems. It did not. I even attempted the envelope system, bravely walking around with cash tucked into various labeled envelopes, only to find myself awkwardly trying to split a $7 coffee across food and miscellaneous. It was a mess, and frankly, it was exhausting. My financial life felt less like a well-oiled machine and more like a runaway train, with me frantically waving my arms from the caboose, hoping it wouldn't derail. I knew I needed a change. I was tired of the constant low-level anxiety about my finances, the nagging feeling that I wasn't in control. I wanted to build real savings, tackle some pesky debt, and just generally feel more confident about my money. And that's when I started seeing ads for Rocket Money pop up everywhere. You know how it is, you mention budgeting app once, and suddenly your entire digital life is flooded with them. But Rocket Money kept catching my eye. Its promise of simplifying finances, identifying forgotten subscriptions, and even negotiating bills sounded almost too good to be true. Was it a miracle worker, or just another pretty app that would gather digital dust on my phone? Well, I decided to take the plunge. And today, I'm going to share my honest, no-holds-barred experience after my first 30 days with Rocket Money. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm not affiliated with them in any way beyond being a user. This is just one person's real-world journey with a tool that promised to change their financial game. So, if you've been wondering about Rocket Money, or if you're just looking for a better way to manage your money, stick around. Because my first 30 days have been enlightening. Day 1, the first impression and setup. Downloading the app was straightforward. The initial interface was clean, modern, and surprisingly intuitive. No confusing jargon or overwhelming dashboards. It immediately asked me to link my financial accounts, checking, savings, credit cards, investments. This was the moment of truth for me with any financial app. Would it connect easily? Would it recognize all my banks? To my pleasant surprise, it did. I linked my primary checking account, 2 savings accounts, and 3 credit cards without a hitch. The process was quick, secure. They used Plaid, which is a common and trusted service for connecting financial institutions, and felt far less intrusive than I'd anticipated. Within minutes, Rocket Money had pulled in all my transactions, categorized a significant portion of them automatically, and presented me with a snapshot of my finances. It was both exhilarating and a little terrifying to see everything laid out so clearly. The immediate standout feature, and the one that first drew me in, was the Subscriptions tab. The subscription revelation. And holy moly, was it a revelation. I thought I was pretty on top of my subscriptions. Netflix, Spotify, a few utility bills, right? Wrong. Rocket Money immediately identified no less than 11 recurring charges I had completely forgotten about. 11. There was that free trial for a meditation app one clearly never used, a streaming service I signed up for to watch one show and forgot to cancel, a premium news subscription I never read, and even a random cloud storage service from years ago. This was the first aha moment. Right there, on day 1, Rocket Money had found over $70 in monthly recurring expenses that were literally just draining my account without me even noticing. It was like finding money in an old jacket pocket, but on a much larger, more impactful scale. The app even gives you the option to cancel these subscriptions directly through their concierge service. I tested this out with 2 of the forgotten subscriptions, and within 24 hours, I received confirmation that they had been canceled. That alone felt like a win, and it was barely past lunch on my first day. Days 2 to 7, diving into the data and setting goals. The next few days were all about exploring the app's various features and letting it learn my spending habits. The spending tab became my new best friend. It showed me exactly where my money was going, broken down by categories like groceries, dining out, utilities, entertainment, and so on. What I loved about this was the ability to customize categories and create rules. For example, my grocery category was initially lumping in my weekly coffee shop visits. I quickly created a rule to recategorize those as coffee and cafes, giving me a much clearer picture of my true grocery spend versus my caffeine addiction. Rocket Money also started sending me smart alerts. Hey, you spent $X on dining out this week. That's Y% of your monthly dining budget. Or, your electricity bill is due in 3 days. These weren't just annoying notifications, they were genuinely helpful nudges that kept my finances top of mind without being overwhelming. I also started setting up financial goals. Rocket Money has a smart savings feature, which is pretty cool. You can set a goal, say, emergency fund or vacation, and Rocket Money will analyze your spending and income to suggest small, regular transfers from your checking to a dedicated savings account. It's like a micro-saving superpower. I set up a goal for a new camera lens I've been eyeing, and seeing those small, automated transfers happen felt incredibly satisfying. It's the kind of saving that happens almost unconsciously, which is exactly what I needed. With that said, thanks for watching and until next time.